Have you heard about domestic violence amongst teenagers in a relationship? I mean, they're in a relationship and they get being beaten up by their boyfriends. I guess you have. I've heard about it. I mean, 1 million times. I'm not trying to exaggerate, but I've heard a lot about it. On today's episode, I have someone here who is going to give us an eye-opener. Also, tell us how we can get out of that mess. This is Teen Style with Chichi. This is where we get to talk about everything that has to do with teenagers, young adults, and also parents are not left out. We talk about everything, especially on this episode. Parents, you need to sit tight and listen to what we have. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back. This is still Teen Time. And like I told you, this is an eye-opener show. I know my guest is a bit... well, she's here to impact because I believe this show is going to touch, even if it's just one person that is in this mess and who is looking for a way out. I believe this show that's what it's about. The Teen Time is where we help. I mean, after every show, I get lots of calls from teenagers where they tell me, Auntie Chichi, thank you. You know, what you discussed today helps me to understand this or to deal with this. So thank you so much for being here. I have Mrs. Chinelo. She's a makeup artist. She's a youth counselor. She's super talented. I can keep going and going. The things you're doing, you trained a lot of girls last year. You trained a lot of girls. Yes. You even traveled out of Lagos. You went to. Thank you so much for what you're doing, and also thank you for being here to talk about what you experienced as a teenager.
Yes.
That was your experience as a teenager. You know, when you were in the university.
I hadn't even entered.
Oh, Oh,
that was
Lord.
the year I was to
enter the university.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's hear the story a bit. Let it come from the horse's mouth.
Okay, so I was 16 when I got into a relationship with a guy. And like, he's a tall, fair, handsome guy and he had some cash. So, to me, I had arrived a bit. And honestly, I have elder ones and they kept warning. Like, they always say, Chinelo, I just keep seeing you coming down from this guy's car. What are you doing? I'm like, no, I just went somewhere. And I now got into school.
Okay, so you met him before you entered the
university?
Yes. How old was he?
He was 24.
Okay.
So I now got into school and he would come with all the goodies. And then my friends would be like, Chinelo, wow, So I'm like forming, like I've arrived.
Exactly. Even at year one, you're already in a relationship.
Yes. So we now started and he comes every Friday to pick me up. And now when he picks me up, he turns and like, who did you talk to in school? I have people watching you.
Wow.
I'm like,
that was like, how many years gone into the relationship?
It was just like some few months. So I'm like, no, these are my classmates. I was trying to find out what's happening. It was a private university.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm trying to find my feet. So they're just normal classmates. And then when he's now in that school, there's a dusty road before the express. So on that dusty road, I'm going to receive like 2 to 3 slaps
before
we get into the express.
Wow.
And when I'm like crying, what did I do? He's like, I will drive into this train and I will die. And I'm like, okay, I'm quiet. So most times on Fridays, everybody's like, Chinelo, you're coming back with, on Sunday now you come back big. So they don't know like Chinelo is coming back, is going there with a heavy heart and coming back with tears, but will pretend.
Wow.
So you see, I was very good at covering up, because when we now get to his house, you drag me out of the car, you were talking to boys now. They told me you were talking to boys, and then the beating comes in.
Wow.
So at a certain point, it went on for a while, and then he would beg. And then,
so after beating you, he would beg you?
Oh, he would beg and cry, and then use material things. And he will make sure that the designers are written on it. So when I step into school, they're like, Chinelo, what happened? You came back more. So you see, what was actually keeping me were those vain things.
Wow.
They were like, okay, Chinelo, after beating you, they'll give you something, so just keep quiet. After beating you, Chinelo.
I mean, my mouth is so wide open, like I'm trying to even...
It was, so I was now telling as a human being, there are some things you tell yourself and you become those things. So I was telling myself like, okay, Chinelo, it's just for a while now.
And it will
On
stop.
Sunday now they'll take you shopping and then you come back with fine things. And that was it. So the final day was the day that a plank was used on my body.
Wow. I mean, he used it.
Yes, a glass tool was used on my. Then I think I was bleeding from my head, from my nose, and from my mouth.
Wow.
So at that point, I really thought I was gonna die. So in my mind, I said, let me call. GSM was out then, so I was like, let me call my best friend. I called. I said, I know I'm going to die. Tell my parents that I'm in his house. So in less than 2 hours, I have 5 elder ones. They all came in like mad people. They all came in screaming. They all came in shouting.
They even knew him.
Yes, he was a popular guy. Popular guy that was, well, doing okay. So I had people screaming and shouting and screaming, you know, where is our baby sister? Where is our baby? So the least thing I could do was throw myself down the stairs.
Wow.
With the key. So I now threw out the key to them for them to help me out. That experience.
And he was there.
He climbed into the roof. Nobody saw him. They couldn't find him. I don't even know where he went to. So that experience alone, like, opened my eyes to a lot of things. A lot of people will be in relationships and have things keeping them for years.
Okay, Chinelo, I know, I mean, this, why I brought you to talk about this. There's this situation I had. They called me to a university where, in Abia State, and they said this girl was about to commit suicide because she's in this relationship. She's dating a cult guy, and every time he keeps beating her, but she doesn't want to leave the relationship. She eventually saw that the guy and saw that the guy was dating someone else, and she wanted to end it. And I was wondering, are you crazy? I mean, this is the best way for you to leave. But she was saying, he promised me marriage, I said, you want to marry someone that beats you? I saw some bruises, and she said this was the beating he gave her last month that was still looking somehow fresh. The question is it like a psychological thing that, just like you said, the material things are the things that maybe can keep someone there. But beyond those material things, is it that the girls, they don't wake up to say, okay, maybe I could die from this. So my life is more important than those material things. Is it that at that point, people don't start thinking that way?
Well, at that point, in that relationship, remember a lot of activities are taking place. And those activities are actually clouding, like making you think that this is how it's supposed to be. Now, she feels that if I go out there, nobody would love me like he does.
Well, how is that love?
No, some people like it. Some people like it when they are being beaten.
I don't get it. When I hear it, I'm wondering, like, you are crazy.
She has built this thing around her psyche, like, okay, this man loves me.
And that's why he's beating me.
And there are some other things that can hold someone down. Maybe he's actually intelligent, or maybe he's a cold guy. Women are drawn to power, so maybe he's maybe the number 1 or number 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, why this guy loves me? Let me just stay here. Let him protect me.
So
and then he'll marry me.
Yeah, okay. If he's in a cult or he's into Yahoo, do they usually think that that's going to last?
Well, a lot of times, young ladies, especially teenagers, there's this thing called this youthful
exuberance.
Yes. So that alone makes you feel that you are, like, in my own time, I felt I was on top of the world.
You were the big girl.
I was the big girl.
Girls.
So to her, she's maybe Capone's babe, and she doesn't want that thing to leave.
Wow.
Her. So there are some things that can tie you down. That's why you see some women stay in
abusive
relationship for years. And they're like, if I go, what will happen? So maybe she's like, if I go, then this little girl will come and take my place. So what she's thinking about is the now. She's not thinking about her life later. Okay,
let me ask, what about your siblings, your family? I mean, okay, let me even bring it to your mom.
Oh, yes.
Did she ever call you and sat you down and say, okay, are you, I've seen or I've heard, did they know that he was beating you?
No.
Okay, so you protected that from them?
Exactly.
But the relationship part, she didn't like bother that my daughter is 16, 17 and she's in a relationship. She never bothered.
Now, my mom was the Madam Botherer. Let me put it like that. She was always saying, Chine, something is wrong with you. you as a human being, you can't be beaten and become and continue being normal.
Yeah.
Something is leaving you. It's either your self-esteem. It's something is just leaving you. So something was leaving me, and she saw it as a mother, and she kept calling me and telling me, I'm like, Mom, I'm fine. You know, see my new clothes. I'm okay.
And she wasn't. I mean, for me, it's also another question. When this, you know, parents see their children growing up. When I was growing up, I come in with a new thing. My mom she will report. My mom does not beat, but she will report me to my father that he would want to kill me. He will ask you, where did you get this new clothes? But I feel this generation, you know, I mean, you are in my generation, don't get me wrong, but a lot of parents now don't even bother. They see their children with new things and they're not asking, who gave you this? Where did you get it?
Yes.
She never even bothered to say who gave you.
No, she didn't bother because my mom knows that I'm a very friendly person. So she would just feel Chinelo and her friends. You know, she would just feel, Chinelo, this clothes is nice. Chinelo and her friends. But she was worried as a mom.
Okay.
You know, so after that experience, when my siblings brought me back home, my mother was broken.
Wow.
She came back from the state where she was working in a bank and she was broken. She was so broken. Like, I can't forget that day. She just kept telling me, Chine, why won't you just stop? Chine, why won't you just stop? You know, my siblings warned me. My siblings made sure that if they hear I'm in Enugu, they would like keep calling. But to me, I was a teenager. Nobody could hold me.
So you were just that teenager that I just want to experience it all.
That's it. I want to explore. I want to be so adventurous. Please don't stop me. And then I'm wearing new things. So please don't just stop me. So to me, I was on top of the world.
Okay, I think I'm going to go on a short break because I have too many questions. I don't even know where to start. I mean, sometimes it feels like, is it that I don't want to sound like I'm being judgmental, you know, because normally in my own right senses, you dare not even raise your hand. The moment you do this, that's it. Like, you know, in a relationship, not to talk of you, that hand drops not once, not twice, not 3 times, you know, so I don't want to sound like, okay, maybe you guys were crazy. Is it okay for me to use the word?
That again? Because if I didn't leave, I would have been dead.
Exactly.
That's just
okay, I'm going to come back to you. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Introducing new Always Cotton Soft. Its unique top sheet is as soft as cotton and gentle to your skin, offering you comfortable protection as you go about your day. New Always Cotton Soft, available in long and extra long for 250 Naira only.
Welcome back. This is still Teens Time, and we've been discussing domestic violence in relationship, especially with teenagers. I don't even want to start talking about married women because this show is all about teenagers. But why will a teenager be in a relationship where you are beating up? I mean, every time, and then you are not talking. You know, you're not even confiding in your family members who would want to rescue you just like they came to your rescue. And we have someone who is generous enough to share her story with us. We still have Mrs. Chinelo in the studio. She's a very good makeup artist. What I'm wearing here, courtesy you. Yes. Okay, thank you so much. I want to ask.
Okay.
Do you think our parents, because every time I try to, you know, trace some things back to parenting.
Yes.
Do you think your parents, I'm sorry, mom, dad, if you're watching, but do you think they, you know, I mean, they did not lay the right foundation for you to say domestic violence is not, I can never condone it no matter what?
Well, I would say they really tried because I'm the last, and my parents, they never ever beat me. They never did. So when it started happening, it was strange. Because whenever my elder ones want to beat me, I'll just run to them. And when they even try to touch me, those ones are going to just hear it.
I want to understand how somebody will beat you, and then when he comes back to beg you, what does he usually say? You just be using sweet words.
He's the devil. It's the devil. It's crying. It's the devil. It's the devil.
And you will believe that the devil.
And I'll believe this devil. Oh, my darling boyfriend, this devil used it. Okay, it's okay. Come, let's go.
Wow.
So you know that thing alone made, and then when you don't have people, good, no, when
right
you're surrounded
friends.
with, yes, they were just when they see new things, they'll be hailing you. That's not what investing. Are you serious? Wow, that's why I always say, you know, teens should have a mentor.
Absolutely.
You're having an expensive phone. How come? What's up? Tell me.
How did you get it?
How did you get this
And
phone?
even the parents, sincerely, I'm going to go back to your parents.
Yes.
I mean, your mom should ask you, who gave you this new clothes? This is expensive. This is a designer.
Yes.
How did you get this? For me, I should be worried. If my daughter comes back and you have new clothes, I'm not buying it for you. I may not even afford to buy it. How did you get it? I need to know how. And this is what we need to start talking about. This is something that should be another conversation where parents need to start stepping up to hold their children responsible, accountable for the things they are doing. If a child comes back with something you never got, there are even phones.
Yes.
I heard of somebody giving a 17-year-old girl a car.
Yes.
And the parents, exactly, a car and iPhone, whatever. And the parents were celebrating. I was wondering, okay, we are losing it. So the question is it bad to say parents are not getting it right when they don't check meds?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Because when you don't check what your kids are carrying, those things can actually lead to their death most times and lead to them falling by the wayside. It can lead to them misbehaving.
Absolutely.
Yes. So you must always ask. So that experience alone made me, I won't say I'm a dirty mom, but I always say, what? Where did you get that thing from? Where did you get that thing from? Because, okay, it's just my friend and she gave me, and then something happened.
So you talked about friends. Did you at any point come back with a black eye or something and your friends,
Yes.
they saw you, what
Most
did they do?
times I came back with a limping leg. And I always say these Okada people, and they'll be like, hey, that's not good.
In your own opinion, from your experiences, do you think a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old teenager should be in a relationship?
Well, from my own experience, it's not advisable because the internet has made it very easy for these teenagers to learn something. It's more available now. And from the internet, you can do a course. So I would always tell a teenager to concentrate on that passion or that talent that you have.
But when their body, just like that time, your body was just on fire, you just wanted to explore.
Put the fire into that talent.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So it's a no-no.
It's a no-no.
So when that experience can mar your life, can affect so much, I don't think it's wise for you to experience it.
Not wise.
Just like this one, why do you want to experience being in a relationship and then the person is beating you? As a teenager, I think it even has a way of messing up someone.
Yes, it does.
You have not even gotten into marriage.
Your mind is messed up big time. It's going to affect some of the decisions you're going to make. So why do you want to make that mistake?
Okay, absolutely. I'm going to come back. We are going to come back, to continue with the show. Let's go on a short break.
Okay.
Do not go nowhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are still talking about domestic violence in relationship. Yes, I'm not talking about marriage. I mean in relationship. Can you beat that? Teenagers being in a relationship where you get being beaten up. Wow. And you still stay. Because of material gifts? Is it worth it? These are my questions to you, and I want to hear from you after the show. Feel free to reach out to me if you are going through that. Okay, I still have my guests in the studio. Forgive me, it's me more like talking to myself. I'm asking, okay, does it make sense? Even if you're giving me the whole world, if you're taking me to, I love traveling. Even if you're taking me the whole world, will I stay? But that's the question we need to ask. Yes, that's what we need to start educating our teenagers. I think a lot of our young people are ignorant, or they are just too materialistic because you just want to be the next Kim Kardashian. So you want to have all the beautiful things at all costs, whatever it's going to take.
Social media has made it worse. You see very young ladies, or maybe you are a teenager, you see your classmate driving Benz and you're like, see, this guy is driving Benz. So.
And you don't care how they got it.
Yes.
So whatever you would do to get it.
Exactly. You bow to that pressure. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all.
Do you think these stories will still be there? I mean, teenagers being in relationships that are very abusive, that are very toxic, and they are not living. Because it's worse. They are looking at so many influencers, social media influencers, yes, who just rub things on them, and they don't even want to tell them how they got it. So do you think, what we are doing, we are starting this conversation, but do you think we are going to make any headway? Because that time there was no social media. Now the social media is, and the parents are shying away from talking about these things.
Well, social media is a plus.
Okay.
for what we are talking
Yes,
about.
definitely, it's a plus.
A big plus, because some teenagers will see this and reach out.
Okay.
And now we have different handles that, people are willing to, okay, come and talk about it. Just like your show, you've had millions of people that come and say, okay, and you advise them. And some of them get better. Remember, it's not everybody that will
Yes, yes.
Some of them get better, and some will be like, no, she's old school. And social media is not making it better.
Yes.
So, because you see some people flaunt some things, and you're like, see this girl, we grew up in the same neighborhood. How did she get this? And she might not tell you that they're beating me, and I'm just staying to get this, and she's getting it. So social media is, if you want it, it's a platform that can be very, very helpful.
Useful, yeah.
That can change your life forever.
How can our teenagers start speaking up? So you are saying we need to keep doing more of what we are doing, speaking up.
Yes,
and people like you, thank you, also speaking up to say, okay, I was here, and learn from my mistake and don't remain there.
Exactly. We have your platform too that has been very helpful. Thousands of teens. We also have other platforms. So my advice, what I'm just trying to say is, it's not easy coming out. That's just the truth, especially when you are going through that very dark time. But it's also better when you come out. When the problem is half shared, a lot of burden you let go of a lot of burden. So I would always say, come out and say it. You might be looking up to someone else. It's not always the parent. No. Okay. It's not always the parent. It's always maybe that auntie that stays close by that's always asking, how are you? I have a girl in my compound. She's a teenager. How are you? Talk to me. Open up to me. Tell me what's happening. Yeah. Sometimes you have such people and you go to them, Auntie C or Uncle C.
Okay, thank you so much. What's your advice? We are going to round up the show. I know because I've put you on the hot spot. Thank you so much. This is the first time you are talking about this.
Yes.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. Just keep that to mind. So as a parent, can you please look into the camera and talk to parents and tell them, especially when it comes to raising teenagers, when their bodies, when you see that they are developing, they're in their puberty, and too many things, blood is flowing and all that. What's the advice to them? And then you will come back to advice. But you are going to, even the boys that beat, you will look at them and tell them.
And so parents, I want to just advise you, please be sensitive where your kids are. And there's an antenna that goes up when your child starts misbehaving. True. Don't overlook that attitude. Don't say they're just, that statement, they're just growing up. It has made a lot of children fall by the wayside. So you should also look at those around them. That one is very key, because I'm going to Chichi's house, I'm going to Obina's house, and then if
there are things they are going there to pick up.
Exactly. And as a parent, if you're sensitive, you would see that this boy is becoming...
He's changing.
Yeah, he's changing.
Or he's a bit too withdrawn.
Or he's being wild.
Exactly.
So we should actually look at that. And to the boys that beat, please use your strength for something better. Go and register for a taekwondo class or something. Use it for something better. If you are quick-tempered or ill-tempered, go for a class. Or let me not sound too spiritual, pray about it.
No, in this matter, we have to be spiritual. You need deliverance.
Exactly. So please, if you feel you get too annoyed, please just walk out.
To our girls who are in this mess, what's your advice to them?
To our girls, to our lovely, beautiful girls, it starts from self-love. If you don't love yourself, you would let someone beat you. If you don't love yourself, you let someone treat you like trash. So it starts from self-love. When you love yourself, you build your self-esteem. So when you meet someone it starts with anger. Where are you going to? Where are you? Stop going out. I don't like it. And when you see those traits are very pronounced. Yes. When you see them, please, take a walk. Take a walk now before it involves someone's life.
Okay, we've heard so much. Thank you, Chinelo, for being here. Thank you for being so generous to share your story. I mean, for the first time on Teens Time, thank you. And teenagers, especially the girls, I hope you have learned. You don't need to endure. I mean, you don't need to endure it. You don't even need to, stomach it. Once you see the sign, even if it's just from someone trying to be too possessive, too overbearing, where are you going to? Who did you talk to? That's not love. But if you ask me as a teenager, I don't think you have any business being in a relationship. For now, There's time for everything when that time comes, including you, and even the whole world will know that you are ready. I hope I didn't sound too religious. I'm a religious person, so deal with it that way. Thank you so much for watching. This is Teens Time. Feel free to watch our YouTube. Check us on YouTube. It's still Teens Time on YouTube. And reach at me on social media. If you also want to, reach out my guest, I'm going to give you her number. Feel free to reach out me, and then I would give you her number. And then, on Instagram, and all, feel free to, DM me, send me whatever. I'm here to coach you, to guide you, to help you become a much better person that you can be. Until we come your way next time, same station, you can become whoever you want to become. It's up to you. The life you live today is something you should live so that you can be proud of yourself a few years from now. I love you. My name is Auntie Chichi. See you next time.